And now, his view, an editorial opinion by Bill Martin.
Have you ever heard this one? We can't expect everybody to get their news from the internet. The people who say that often follow it up with things like, well, there's so many people who do not have a computer, especially among our seniors. And while that was true just a few years ago, it's time we amended that statement. Let's drop the so. It's not true anymore to say so many people. The correct thing to say is there are people who do not have a computer. That is still a true statement, but it is not one to cause us to hold back. We need to embrace the reality, accept that it does make life a little easier, and that we can do a lot more as individuals and as a society by adopting the modern tools. For the record, I am a senior citizen. I remember as a kid that we had an ice box. Sure, we had electricity by that time, but it was only a short time before, and during my parents' youth, in fact. Homes started adopting electricity to see in the dark, thanks to Thomas Edison. I remember the Iceman driving through the community calling out, "Ice! Who needs ice?" Apparently he drove a horse and wagon when he started, but I only recall the truck with the big blocks of ice. One of my schoolmates did not have running water. He had to go to the well and fill a bucket. We did not have a car. My dad walked to work. We did not have a TV. That contraption entered my life in the early 1950s, and then it had to be in color, followed by a flat screen, and then a bigger and bigger flat screen. We don't gather the family around a little box in the living room where we turned off the lights, pulled the drapes, adjusted the rabbit ears, and watched through a snowy 19-inch screen. Today, we almost have individual TVs, almost one in every room. Today we have multiple cars. Many spend the night in private homes that we call garages. Yeah, some people take better care of their cars. We fly around the world at jet speed. We get the news minutes after it happens. We carry our phones in our pocket, and we talk to friends and family over video. Today is the age of the computer, and we still have people who resist it and demand a morning newspaper. I understand there are some who cannot use a computer, some who cannot afford a computer, and some who just simply refuse. But we cannot deny we are in the computer age. Computers are everywhere, and most are unseen. We have computers in our grocery stores, for example. They maintain the cooling temperature for produce and frozen foods. They tally our grocery bill, open and close the front door without a touch. Our cars run on computers. In fact, we don't really have mechanics anymore. Instead, we have electronic technicians. And think of this. I'm talking to you through my computer, and my voice magically travels through the wires and through the air to Montreal. And that's where more computers, bigger computers, stream it through space so that you can listen on your computer. And remember, that phone that I talked about, the one I said you carry in your pocket, well, that isn't just a phone anymore. It's one of the most sophisticated computers ever made and is capable of doing much, much more than our feeble brains can ever imagine. And now today, our computers are starting to think for us. In fact, they're changing the way we think. There will soon come a day when every single man, woman, and child will finally have a computer. Sadly, by then, the world will be transitioning to something else for us to complain about. At least, that's my view. I'm Bill Martin.